Good afternoon. I'd like to start by saying rest in power to the legendary Coach John Thompson, blueprint, idol, mentor to many, including myself. He'll be greatly missed. Big condolences to his family and loved ones. Good day for us. Working some situational ball, some short yardage and goal line, significant areas of play that we need to focus on, and obviously work to be dominant at. When you win those situations on offense, you get new sets of downs or you're ringing the scoreboard up by 7. And on defense, you win those downs, you get off the field, and that's where good defenses spend a great deal of time. So it was good to sharpen the iron on those areas of emphasis today. It was good work. We'll review the tape and proceed with our work week. From an injury standpoint, got a number of guys working their way back to us and participating. Sweetson was back out there today. Smallwood was back out there today. We'll continue to manage some of the other day-to-day like things. Wormley worked in a limited capacity. Just another good football day, man. And those days are getting scarce as we push into September. We recognize that we got to get stadium ready, and so we're working with a great deal of urgency. Questions?
First question, Mark Caboli. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, sure seemed like your receivers had a pretty good day today. Is this the time in camp
Mark, you there?
Oh, shoot. Are you there?
Okay, we'll move on to Jeff Hathorn. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I just wanted to ask you about John Thompson and what it was that you took from him as a coach that sticks with you.
Guys.
Try once more, bro.
Mark Caboli, go ahead.
All right, can you hear me?
Gotcha.
Oops, hold on a second. My earphone. This is a mess. My earphone fell. All right, Mike. It seems like, hey, your receivers look like they had a pretty good day today. Is this the time in camp where you tend to see the receivers and the quarterbacks getting some cohesion?
It's a known fact that offensive cohesion probably takes a little longer than defensive cohesion. The timing and the ability to get a sense of that timing and work collectively is much more important. And we've had a number of guys miss time due to natural things that this process presents. So, it's good to see those guys coming together, and I'm not surprised that maybe sometimes defensive collective maturation happens a little faster.
Okay, we'll go back to Jeff Hathorn. Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I wanted to ask you about John Thompson and what really just stuck out to you on the way he coached, and what is something that he did that sticks with you?
Just as a Virginia boy growing up in the 80s, man, I had the Georgetown starter jacket, man. I was a Hoyer. I think it also was just impressive the impact he had in the lives of the young people that he worked with, 2 of which were from my home area. Alonzo Mourning is a couple years older than me, and Allen Iverson's a couple years behind me. So as a Virginia boy from that part of the state, I just had a big-time appreciation not only for his coaching prowess and reputation and record, but how he moved in the lives of the young people that he worked with. And then as I got older and got into the profession of coaching, particularly here in Pittsburgh, he was a mentor, if you will, a guy that had been there and done that. And I just appreciated the times I had a chance to visit with him and glean some of his wisdom.
So we just had your hat up. Yep. Here you go.
Yep.
Next up, Mike Pursuta. Mike, go ahead.
Mike, we didn't see DeCastro out there. Can you clarify his status?
Yeah, he's just dealing with a lower body injury, man. We're managing it. He's managing it. Hopefully he'll be back out there soon.
Joe Rudder. Joe, go ahead.
Anything specific you wanted to see from Bud after the year he had last year? What can he build on in your eyes?
More significant playmaking, ball awareness type things, continuing to build upon the natural trajectory that his career has taken. One thing about his performances is it's been continually improving over the course of his stay here. And so it's reasonable to expect that to continue. He's always highly conditioned. He's gaining experience with each and every snap, and he's a hard-working guy.
Next up, Brooke Pryor. Brooke, go ahead.
Mike, not having Ryan Shazier here because of the COVID restrictions, keeping some guys, non-essential guys from the facility. What do you miss when you don't have him kind of around the team day to day?
You know, Ryan is not missing because of COVID. Ryan is focused on some transitional things in his life, and that's where his focus is right now. And he has my and our full support in terms of that. I hope that he's going to have some time for us in the future. But as he lays the foundation for the rest of his life, man, that's where he's focusing his energies.
Next up, Mike Asti. Mike, go ahead. Okay, moving on. Follow-up from Mark Caboli. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I see you were able to work in Derek Watt a little bit today, maybe a little bit at the end of the line. Is the tight end a position where he's capable and intrigues you a little bit maybe in those situations?
Derek is a tight end?
Derek is, you know, in goal line, end of the line type of stuff.
Now, he's been playing exclusively F or fullback for us. Sometimes that position is not always in the backfield or behind the quarterback, but that's what he plays for us.
Next up, Jerry Dulac. Jerry, go ahead.
Mike, I'm just curious about your relationship with John Thompson. Did you seek him out as you got older and into the profession, or were the meetings circumstances?
Absolutely, I sought him out. You know, you're wise to seek wise counsel. I enjoyed every time I had an opportunity to go to the D.C. area and play, whether it was Washington or Baltimore. I look forward to calling into his show. I called him just for an opportunity to spend a few moments with him.
Another shot for Mike Asti. Mike, go ahead. Okay, Mark Caboli with the follow-up. Mark, go ahead.
Well, I didn't actually have one. I didn't lower my hand, so I apologize.
Okay, moving along here, we have Brian Batko. Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, Mike, you got me?
Yes.
All right. I just wanted to ask about Terrell Edmunds. Is he one of those guys working his way back in as well? I think he hasn't practiced since maybe the 21st or so from what we've seen.
Yeah, he worked today, and he was in that group. I didn't necessarily mention all of the guys. Deontay Johnson is another one. You know, it's a lot of things that come with training camp, injuries, lack of availability in the short term, from a short-term standpoint, and a lot of those guys are just working their way back into action, and we're glad that they are.
All right, last one. Jerry, do you have a follow-up?
I do, Coach. So you would call John Thompson's radio show? Was that your first exposure to?
Absolutely. Call the coach, man.
Did you ever talk to him on just one-on-one, a personal conversation after that?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Mike.